In another continuation of our Top Producers series, you all are in for a treat. Now, this special guest has been a friend of mine and a colleague for going on a decade. But believe it or not, this is our first time sitting down to do a podcast on TLOP together. In the past 5 years, I've never known her to produce less than $50 million in personal volume. She is currently out to build her Gwenpire, which we are going to talk about on this episode. But it hasn't always been this way. She was once a fitness instructor. She was once a stay-at-home mom and got started as an assistant to a top producer. And you get to hear her story, how she did it, what she learned, what she would do all over again, as well as what she would avoid. I don't care if you're a mortgage loan originator, a realtor, if you sell life insurance for a living, or you're a financial advisor. I promise you there's going to be life lessons, takeaways, and motivation, as well as inspiration from the story that you're going to hear when I interview today's guest. Check this out. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children 18 plus, you are tuned in to the Loan Officer Podcast with me, Dustin Owen, and a very special guest. Born in Virginia, raised in Southern California, today she calls Boise, Idaho home. She's a mom of two amazing boys. She is a mortgage badass. She's a snowboarding machine. She is my friend, the one, the only Gwen Swain. Gwen, welcome to TLOP officially.
I can't believe it.
I know.
I've been listening to TLOP since I think your first episode. So
you were listener number one.
I think I was.
Yeah, I probably coerced you because you see, Gwen and I had the awesome opportunity to work at Waterstone Mortgage together for, well, your whole time that you were there, and for me, all the way up until a year ago. Right? So you're still holding it down at Waterstone, representing, you're building out your Gwenpire. I'm here doing my thing. I wave the lower flag. I represent TLOP across the country, Spokane to Key West. But we get to share your story with all of the listeners and all of the viewers. And I said this in the soft intro, but you all are in for a treat. And I'm not just being biased, which I am biased, right? Like, this is my girl. I've admired her and her work ethic and her success, and I love, like, I have told your story maybe more times than you've told your story.
I've heard it on the podcast.
And now you get to tell your story with me constantly interrupting and interjecting like I tend to do. I'm curious where we want to start with your story. Like, do we want to go all the way back to you being a young entrepreneur as laying the foundation? Or do we want to jump right into it as I moved to Boise, Idaho, I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I need to go back to work?
Yeah, that was kind of it. I mean, when I moved to Boise, I knew I didn't want to go back into fitness. So I'd been teaching fitness for 15 years. I owned a fitness boot camp in Southern California, and I was very much burnt out. And so I didn't really know what was the next chapter for me. My mom's not a mortgage originator. I wasn't brought up in this world. Moving from California, I actually didn't know anybody who had owned a home. I didn't know the process of mortgage. Like, I was very, very, very green. But the gal who did my loan ran into me at a bar, and she was like, hey, we're hiring. She knew that I didn't have a job because she did our loan. So
okay.
she knew what was going on. And she's like, come work for me. And literally, I'm like, what's a mortgage? I mean, I had no context.
So when you bought your house,
I was a first-time home buyer from out of state. So we did it all over email. I never saw the office. Like, I had no idea what was happening to me, as most first-time home buyers feel.
Yeah. By the way, I think I may have butchered your intro a little bit. I know you were born in Virginia.
Yeah.
Were you raised in Virginia, or were you raised in Southern California?
Virginia. So Great Falls, Virginia.
Okay.
Born and raised. And then I went to JMU, James Madison.
Yes.
Go Dukes. And then I moved.
Smart kids go there.
I mean,
yeah, okay.
Kids who have fun go there.
Yes, okay.
And then I moved to California right out of college and spent some time in San Francisco, moved down to San Diego, and then moved to Boise after I had my first kid.
That's why you've been to Giant Stadium.
I have, yeah, many times.
We were talking baseball earlier, which I didn't think you were a big sports fan. I thought you were like, wait a minute, is that a sport, baseball, what?
Yeah, I'm not, but I will go for it. It's the dinner theater. It's like you go have some food, you watch the show, you have a beer. It's the ambiance of it that attracts me. I couldn't tell you who won or who played. But
yes, I was telling Gwen how we went to the Cubs game yesterday and how we missed her. And she's like, oh, have you been to this stadium? Have you been to this stadium? And I was impressed with the two stadiums that you mentioned are like, one's one of my favorite stadiums and one is a stadium I've never been to.
Yeah.
But in your intro, I actually said You were born in Virginia, raised in Southern California. I mean, you were raised like young adult-ish.
Early 20s, yeah.
Early 20s,
yeah,
okay.
Still coming of age.
There we go. Before you moved to Boise, bought your first house, and really started your family.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. But I think it's important for the audience to know when we talk about Gwen Swain and we tell her story, at least what I love people to know is you were an entrepreneur prior to.
Yes, yeah.
Like you were not just a fitness instructor, you had your own fitness business to where you had to go hire instructors.
Yeah, and did my own website. I mean, I was printing postcards and putting them on cars. I mean, it was a grind, but yeah, it gave me the work ethic to, now I get to do that, but I don't have to wake up at 5 a.m.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, but it's a good background, a good experience. We did an interview with Coach Ross. So Ross Woods was on the show, and something I loved about his story is his intentionality of the foundation he laid. Worked at a title company for 2 years, left the mortgage or real estate industry to go sell for 2 years, and his selling was recruiting. Then when he got into mortgage, he became an LOA before he became a loan officer. And then Ross is a guy that goes out and does so much volume in units in 7 years that he puts himself in a financial freedom position in his mid 30s that now he can control his destiny moving forward.
Yeah.
And when you start studying successful people, like it's kind of my job to do, and you're one of the successful people that we study, I love to make sure people understand there was a young entrepreneur in here who worked crazy hours, who did the guerrilla marketing, who did door knocking and cold calling and anything it took, even if it wasn't in real estate or mortgage, it was in fitness. It's a skill set that probably translates.
Yeah. Well, and I joke, like, you live in a big city like San Francisco or San Diego and you'll do any job, right? Because you're just trying to live. And I remember, like, I had in my back pocket like 5 different business cards. So I'm like, oh, you need a dog walker? And I'm like, oh, here, I walk dogs, right? Oh, you need a website built? I build websites.
Seriously, that was you?
Like anything I could do, I would do just because it was so expensive to live there.
Because you're hungry?
Yeah. And I didn't want a job. I didn't want to work for the man, right? Like I wanted my own business. Yeah.
Did you always know that about yourself growing up, that you didn't want to work for the man, you wanted to be the man or the woman?
I knew it about 3 months after I graduated college. Because like college is very entrepreneurial, right? Like you work your own schedule, you're like creating projects, you're collaborating with peers. And then I went and I got like my first like job, like entry level in the grind in San Francisco. And at like 3 months later, I'm like, I can't do this. Like this is what I've been studying to do. I can't do it.
Yeah, I've learned at 46, I don't do well with bosses.
Or punching in. Like, I'm like the worst at a time card. Like I can't.
Exactly. Well, I'm the worst because I'm like, wait, you want to be here at 9 or was it 9:07? I'm sorry, which one was it?
Yeah, I'm the one that where like I remember when I first started working in mortgage, I was a loan partner, loan officer assistant, and my LO went to like happy hour with realtors, and she came back. It was like 7:30, and I'm still there, and she's like, what are you still doing here? I'm like, I got emails to send. She's like, you're on overtime. Like I had no concept. I'm like, if we have a business, we have a job to do.
Yeah.
I'm staying all night. Like that was kind of who I've always been.
Yeah. By the way, shout out to Gwen. I don't know if you can see this on the camera. If you're not tuning into our show on YouTube, do me a favor, at least go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. We do a free sales training and a free coaching session every other week. So basically every Wednesday, one of the two will drop. But if you're on YouTube, you can see this. But she brought me my very own Boise. Is that a Boise bear?
It is. And you have to say it Boise.
Boise.
They're very specific
Boise.
about that there. I'm not from there originally, but when you get there, they tell you.
Okay, Boise.
Boise.
Yeah, just like it's Spokane and not Spokane, Washington.
Oh, yeah.
Spokane.
Spokane.
Yeah, I was once corrected for saying that as well. Don't worry, my wife corrects me because I say guitar and not guitar. Yeah, I say vehicle and not vehicle. Yeah,
it's like a Southern thing.
Oh, it's way Southern.
Yeah.
I can butcher anything.
Okay.
Heck, today I went Facebook Live, and then my 17-year-old daughter texted, not me, but my wife, and she goes, oh my God, Dad just said he was going to be in Chicago for 48 days. He meant 48 hours. I'm like, oh, Jesus. I get it on all angles, right? Yeah. Okay, Boise.
Yeah.
Boise.
Yeah.
All right, well, nonetheless, that's a Boise bear, and it's my new coffee mug, so thank you, Gwen. All right. Everyone else is like, shut up, Dio, because we want to hear from Gwen. But before we hear from Gwen, we first have to pause and let's listen to today's show sponsor. Loan officers, mortgage brokers, listen up. This is the event of the year that you can't miss. It will sell out, and never before has it been done like this. You have the iconic Sales Mastery coming together and joining forces with Momentum Builder for 3 days in Dallas, Texas. That's October 14th through 17th. If you want to end the year strong and you want to invest in your future success, come hang out with me. Come hang out with 1,000 other mortgage professionals at Sales Mastery powered by Momentum Builder. Again, Dallas, Texas, and those dates October 14th, 15th, 16th, and 17th. We can't wait to see you in Dallas this October, but you better hurry up because it will sell out. You moved to Boise, you got a baby.
Yep.
You got a baby on the way.
Yeah, eventually.
Yep. It's kind of how it happens.
Yeah.
You go to work as a loan partner because you ran into
my loan officer
boss,
who did my mortgage.
Who did your loan at a bar.
Yeah,
and like,
said we're hiring.
We're hiring. You should come work.
Yeah.
Were you looking for work or were you just looking to like...
Yeah, I tried the stay-at-home mom thing. I'm like, I can't do it.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't. I respect people who can, but hardest job in the world. Right?
Yeah, I agree. That's why I don't do it.
Yeah. So she's like, yeah, you ask good questions in escrow, which is funny because now I recruit loan partners from my past clients. Like if they got a good credit score and they're smart and they send documents quickly, I'm like, you should come work for me.
I love that.
Yeah, when they like show up with their binder and there's like tabs and colored pocket folders, I'm like, yes, loan partner, come here.
We've all had those type of borrowers.
Yeah.
They are a dream borrower, and it worked for you, and then now it works for you. Like it worked for you, meaning someone else saw that in you, and so they hired you. And now you're like, wait a minute, I just need to hire more people like me, bring them in as a loan partner if they meet these certain criteria. Mm-hmm. So how long were you a loan partner for?
8 months.
Wow, that was not a long time.
No, because again, it was a job. It was punching in, right? And I really wanted to learn the domain because I knew nothing about it. And as I was doing so, because I'm entrepreneurial and I wanted to kind of develop my own brand around it, right? Like I was ready to sell myself instead of working so hard to do marketing and swag for somebody else. So I also got pregnant with my second son and knew that the schedule was just probably not going to work for me with a newborn punching in at 9 a.m. every day. So
after 7 months, you have just purchased your first home. Mm-hmm. Now you've worked as a loan partner or an LOA for a more senior originator. Yep. Now you're going to go out on your own. Just kind of walk us through quickly your first full 12 months in the industry. What did that look like, units and volume for you?
Yeah, so it was like my first calendar year was a partial year, and I did 12 million from I think my first closing was in April, maybe. So in those 8 months or so, I did 12. And then
and what was that unit-wise, like 40 units?
It was probably? Yeah, because my next year, my goal was 50. So I was like, okay, I want to close.
You went from 12 to 50.
My goal was, 12 million.
Yes.
And then my goal the next year was 15 million or
15.
or 50 units, whichever.
Okay.
Like one of the two.
Yeah.
But the first full year, second year in the business, I closed 48 million.
Wow.
So it just took off. Yeah.
Okay. Looking back, what did you do? Because this wasn't, by the way, this wasn't 2020. This wasn't 2021. Like we're talking like 17, 18, right? Yeah. Time frame. Mm-hmm. What did you do that looking back, your peers just didn't do it, but because you did it, it's why you were able to go from, which by the way, 12 million your first 12 months is not too shabby either.
Yeah.
Like I've onboarded 40 plus rookies throughout my career as a sales leader. And I've maybe had, Mike Williams and Patrick Cheyenne, right? Like 2, right? I've had 2 that have done those types of numbers out of 40. So even that's a little bit rare. But what did you do to do that 48?
Yeah, I think that having the experience as the LOA helped, first off. Like if I was brand new, I just got my license and I showed up to originate, I probably wouldn't have closed 12 million.
Okay.
In that first year.
Fair
because
enough.
I already knew the domain. So when I would get the opportunity to have a coffee with a realtor, I could confidently tell them that my discipline was there, my systems were in place. I knew how to do the job. So I think that helped. And then I basically burned the candle at both ends is like the short answer. So what's funny is that at the end of that year, that 48 million kind of breakout year, our company made me Rookie of the Year. And I remember getting a call saying, we want to put you on stage at a breakout and Dustin Owen is going to interview you and you're going to tell everybody how you did it, because nobody knew of me. Like I was kind of a new face and name in the company. And I remember replying back, you don't want to know how I did it? Yeah. Because like I worked probably, 15 or 18-hour days. I worked all the time with a newborn.
With a newborn.
Yeah.
Right. So you had a 2-year-old and a newborn.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so what I would do is like from 9 to 5, I basically still treated it like the loan partner job, the LOA job. I would show up at the office. I would work all day on files, like building my database, doing all the things. And then at night I would lead generate on Facebook. So that's kind of how I would start to get my realtor coffees booked and all of that. So just working a lot and in a frenzy in a very short amount of time. I always say, like, in this business, or I guess when building any business, you paddle up the wave and then you get to ride it, right? Now, you can paddle up that wave for 5 years or 10 years before you ride it if you don't paddle as hard or fast or for as long, or you can do it quickly and then you get to ease off of it. So I believe now that I get to coach loan officers, like, I don't want them to look at my work-life balance and think that that's normal, because it took me, a couple of years to get here. But the first 2 years, you do just have to put your head down. If you want to make it, if you want to be a top producer, balancing your time between operations and marketing, it is 2 full-time jobs, and you just got to kind of make peace with it until you make enough money to hire.
I love the fact that you're honest and open about that.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone else about this at lunch a couple of days ago, and our friend Renee Rodriguez I remember Renee posting, or maybe it was a workshop that he did that I was in, and I loved how he articulated this thought, and it's the same thought that I discussed with a colleague of ours at lunch a couple of days ago. When people look at work-life balance, I think too many times we look at it as in the moment instead of in the decade or in the lifetime. Right. And I'm going to be balanced, but I may never be in balance. Right now, my out of balance may be my friends and family get a lot of me, and my work knows that. But there was also a time over the past decade, work got a lot of me, and my friends and family, they knew that. It wasn't like work right now is upset with me because my friends and family get more than they get, or it wasn't that my friends and family were unforgiving. But I think we expect balance to be daily versus, no, let's look at it in terms of seasons or years or even decades or entire careers. So you were out of balance for 2 years.
Yeah, it was a startup, and I knew that. I'm like, I'm putting on my startup hat. Like, I'm going to have 4 meals a day, DoorDash to the office. Yeah. Like, that was my world. And I remember one night I was working late, and my branch manager walked by my office, and I was always there. Right? Like, this is the thing. And she popped her head in, and she said, "Hey, Gwen, is it worth it?" And I said, "I'll tell you later. Like, I'll let you know."
Yeah.
Because I didn't know yet. But I was like, if you put your shovel in the ground every day, you will dig a hole. And so you don't see the fruits of that labor right away. I mean, I remember when I jumped off from giving up my $17 an hour paycheck, right, my LOA, to 100% commission and $0 paycheck, I had the thought of, like, I just need to close two loans a month. That's all, right? So I probably need like 5 realtors to be willing to throw me a bone. And that, it wasn't a hard barrier of entry in that way, right? And then as it started paying off, because if you just rinse and repeat, you do the same thing on task over time, right? All of a sudden, there's a momentum to it. And so then your lead measures start kind of blowing up, and you're like, holy cow, I got 10 leads this week, and I got 15 leads next week. And so it did, doing the right things consistently, which you preach on so well, right? Which is whatever the thing you like, you'll do. So go do that, and that will pay off. Not everybody has to be on Facebook, and not everybody has to, have a seat in a real estate office. But whatever the thing you do it well, and do the thing that you like, and you're likely to do it. And for me, that was Facebook. So.
Yeah, well, that's we don't have time for that on today's episode, but I can tell the audience who doesn't know this. So Gwen is one of our 5 coaches over at T-Lops Originator Coaching. She is a fan favorite. She's a member favorite, but you built your business on Facebook, and people think, oh, wow, she was running ads? No. Oh, wow, she was getting leads? Not necessarily. Right. It was like, no, she was networking intentionally at night on Facebook because she had a newborn that had a feeding schedule and a 2-year-old that had diapers to be changed or needed to be potty trained. And she still had that component, but she could network for 5 hours. And by the way, if you want to learn from someone who mastered that, Gwen's Facebook course, I mean, you've taught it several times to our members already. It's amazing. If someone became a member, like, hey, wink, wink, nod, nod, that shit's recorded, right? You can go back, and then all of us as coaches take time every month to be a coach on call, which means we make ourselves available to y'all to answer your one-on-one questions. But I love how you used Facebook, and I still today share your story with people as, hey, this works. This is something you too can do. I'm going to ask you a question I've never asked you. Okay. But I know that we have a lot of listeners who want to hear this. And these listeners are for our moms. Okay. Those first 2 years, those 16, 17-hour days, right? Even maybe by year 4, year 5, as you were building out your team and you're trying to figure out your flow, what did childcare look like for you?
Yeah. So when I had my second born, My mom would watch him for the first 4 hours a day. So
Okay.
I worked from home during that time because I didn't have a team.
Yeah.
So it didn't matter. And so from like 8 a.m., she would come over, watch Cameron until noon. And then at noon, we brought in a nanny because we could afford a nanny 4 hours a day.
Okay.
And so, and then after 5, my then husband, he got off work and he watched the kids. Then I grew my Gwenpire.
Yep. So shout out to Rich Tucker, who is one of my most favorite operational sales leaders I've ever worked with. Like, dude's amazing.
Yeah.
And he's yours now because I made a decision that he's no longer mine, but he's still yours. Find a way to yes.
Yeah.
Right. That's Rich's like motto, like that. And nothing changes if nothing changes.
Yeah.
And those that tune in, I've stolen that from Rich. I'm sure Rich stole it from somebody else, right? We all swipe and adapt. But find a way to yes is what you did. Now, we talk about find a way to yes when it comes to getting borrowers approved. But no, you found a way to yes as I want to become a mega producer. I want to be recognized at being the top 1%. How can I do this with 2 small children? Okay, leverage mom for the first 4 hours. I have to work from home.
Yeah.
I can afford a nanny, but only for 4 hours. I'm going to do that. Then husband gets home at 5. Hey, homeboy, you're on duty. Mm-hmm. And then.
Yeah. And I think you hit the nail on the head, which is like, there's different seasons in life. For me, I made the decision that the kids won't remember 0 to 2, right? Like I'd rather be at their baseball games at 7 and 9, like the ages that they are now, and have built to where I have a team that supports me and the income I was going after. But I remember like during COVID, right before the market just went wonky, I sat down with my husband at the time and I said, hey, there's an opportunity here. Like I could tell. And I'm like, so you either won't see me for the next 2 years and I'm going to go and like set up our retirement, or I can pump the brakes and know that it's going to pass me by. And he's like, get it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, I'll see you in 2 years. And that's what I did. And one of your colleagues in the Florida region, he reached out to me. He's like, hire, because somebody who has seen many markets, mm-hmm. and it is such a predictably cyclical thing in a way, right? You have to adapt. You have to say, okay, in this market, what does my team look like? What does my business look like? And in that one, if you had people answering the phones, you could capture refis. Yeah. And so,
what did you do during COVID? What was your PR year?
91 million.
91 million.
Yeah.
Does it ever bother you that you didn't hit 100?
Oh, yeah, because at my company, they had like a blue diamond that was a lifetime award.
Oh, are you one of those people that I can win you over with a $10 like plaque?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you want that trophy.
Words of affirmation is my love language. So
okay.
I think most salespeople are.
Yeah.
Like we want 5 stars. And yeah. So.
Yeah. Okay. Because like our friend Mike that you were just talking about, that Mike Smalley gave her the advice.
Yeah.
Hire. Shout out to Mike because he's an amazing sales leader and originator. But Mike is that guy that, he did 96 million. And me, I'd be out celebrating. I'm like, 96 million? Oh. No, he's dwelling on where did that $4 million go?
Oh, no, that doesn't.
So I didn't know if you're like, if I would have just worked harder, or, gone more aggressive at that one loan, taken in-house comp, I could have gotten to 100 million.
Gosh, no.
Okay,
like I honestly know that was my all out. That was leave it all in the field. Like I couldn't have done anymore.
All right. You were sharing with me. So you do a lot for your company.
Yeah.
Right. And any good company is going to leverage their talent and ask their talent by empowering them to give back to the rest of the company. Yeah. So you had a chance to speak for probably the 15th time now at your company event, which is your annual sales conference. Yeah. And you're telling me that on the panel, you said something to that group that you felt like hit home. And then you shared with me. I'm like, hell yeah, that hit home. Let's call this like, what has Gwen learned now 9 years into her mortgage career, looking back? Right? Kind of the older, wiser looking back. You know what worked. You know if you had to start all over again, what you would do. You probably know what you wouldn't do again. But you have a great way of summarizing for people that are in a position that either they're onboarding newer people to the industry, you yourself are newer to the industry, or quite honestly, you may be 5 years into the industry, but you feel like you've repeated year 1 for the 5th time. Yeah. What epiphany have you recently been able to put into words that I think now can be a part of your signature as a coach and a leader?
Thank you. I think that there are chapters of learning, right? And we can both agree that you will be learning your entire career. I mean, you're still learning, and that's what gives you content to talk about the podcast, right? So when you get into the business, and this was kind of my journey as well, is first you learn the domain. What are the underwriting guidelines? What are the products? You become a student to the mortgage world. What is the secondary market? And like all that, nobody taught you that in school. So you have to just willfully go and learn from your mentors, your coach, your podcasts, your books, whatever you can do. Once you master that to the extent that you can go and sell it, then your next venture, your next chapter is learning how to be a marketer. So building your brand, creating your ideal client avatar. What's your message on Facebook or on your social media going to be? Who is the type of realtor that you're marketing to? Who are you going to help, right? So first learn mortgage, then learn sales, right? If you have the opportunity to mentor under someone.
I was going to say, this is your perfect recipe.
Yeah. In my ideal world, everybody would start out as LOA.
Okay. In your perfect world, everybody would start as either an LOA or a loan partner.
Yes. Because you're learning on somebody else's time.
Yes.
Like you're getting paid to learn, which I like.
Do we live in a perfect world?
No, most people will do it in inverse. And in fact, if that's you, if you just got mortgage licensed and now you're about to go and start your mortgage career, your own small business, right? I would say put a pause on all of the learning of the nitty gritty of what's the difference between Fannie and Freddie and what does the FHA say about retaining a departing residence. I mean, there's so much minutia to it and we will always be learning it. Focus on selling first. So get your networking strategy, your marketing plan down, because if you can't get a realtor coffee, it doesn't matter if you know the entire book front to back.
Yeah.
Then you have to do this juggle for a while, which is you're the mortgage guru, you're the expert in the domain, and you're the head of marketing. So you have to do both. And I see so many loan officers struggle with this because they have these peaks and valleys. You see it, right? Where it's like they close 3 loans, they close 0. They close 4 loans, they close 0 because they're out getting the business and then they're fulfilling the orders. When you get to that point, if those peaks and valleys are robust enough, that's when you start to scale and you start to hire your first LOA to give somebody else a career opportunity to make their dreams come true, right? And at that point, you have to go back into learning and learn how to be a leader. Because oftentimes the best technician in the building is not the best manager. And so you have to pause and say, who do I need to be the person who can take care of people and not just paychecks? And I think that that's a lesson that I learned in a hard way, and that I thought that the employees that I hired would be my best friends, that this work culture, I love that, right? But at the same time, also that they would always be with me. And in reality, it's a job that's a revolving door. Like if you get 2-3 years out of an assistant, that's a good tenure. So you have to be okay building out the processes of how to onboard and teach, right? But your job then becomes retaining that talent, inspiring that talent, building their career path, hoping they outgrow you, right? And I think that that to me, like where I am now in my career, it's very much into telling people that like it doesn't have to be so hard, right? Like learn how to hand the baby to somebody else. Let them learn on your time and watch them and mentor them so that then they can grow into their origination career.
Yeah, you're not the only one who can do this.
Yeah, you're not that cool.
And your way is not the best way, and it's not the only way. It's a good way,
right?
But there could be other good ways of doing it. I think anyone who's gone through building a team, managing, and then attempting to become a good leader will pick that up. It was interesting what you said about not being your friend. I so wanted for my team to be my friend, and in my vision, we were going to do pool parties together and vacation. And it was my wife who sat me down, and she's like, "You're their boss,
right? Like
they're afraid of you. They should." I'm like, "They should be." Like she's like, "They're still afraid of you,
right?
And you're still their boss." And not many people want to go hang out with their boss, just like kids don't always want to go hang out with their parents.
Right.
And I was like, "Oh, well, that kind of hurt my feelings." And I quickly got over it. And then I decided, okay, cool. I'm not going to be their friend. I'm going to be a really good leader. And how do I do that? Because, that's a skill set that, that's
a different book. All of a sudden you're reading different books, right?
Yes.
And that's okay. And I think that is, you owe it to your team to commit to that. Because I think a lot of times loan officers, they're genius of what they do, but they don't necessarily know how to manage people. And so I didn't. So it was like, I'm really good at working late, working hard, but that's not everybody's MO, right? Yes. So like, I'll be there till midnight. They don't want to be there till midnight, and that's okay, right? Different people have different motivators.
1,000%. So in a nutshell, or summarize, in Gwen Swain's perfect world,
yes,
right? So this is Gwen. She's building her Gwenpire. We call her Coach Gwen over at T-Labs Originator Coaching. The perfect world, go be an LOA or a loan partner for 12 to 24 months.
Oh, or less. 8 months was good for me.
You're an outlier.
It depends on how well,
okay,
are you paying attention? Everything
12 months.
Every VOE that comes in, give it a shot. Calculate income. Don't just hand it to your LO.
Yes.
Right?
Be curious.
Care.
Yeah, be curious.
Yeah.
So 12 months working for somebody else.
Yeah.
master what you can in those 12 months. Then you move on to step 2, which is become a badass marketer, self-promoter, networker, salesperson.
Yeah.
Once you do that, you're going to start building a team because you're going to be that successful. Now, all of a sudden, step 3 is become a good leader.
Yeah. And then you get your life back.
Then you get your life back. Yeah. But unfortunately, the truth is this. The opportunity Gwen had, they're few and far between. The opportunity that I've had for whether it's Marissa Davis, Shirley Agudelo, or Kevin Murphy, like I'm one of 50 in my market that do what I do at the level I do it.
Right.
I'm probably one of 5 that would have been willing to hire them and invest in them. So meaning there weren't that many opportunities. So for most of y'all, you got to start with step 2. Mm-hmm. You got to learn how to sell, market, network. Yes. But quickly, like this is where you say you have to not, like we say fake it till you make it. Fake it till you make it means telling somebody, hey, let me take down that information and get back to you. That's my way of saying I have no idea, but hopefully you have a great sales manager, branch manager, mentor, or even a processor back at your office that once you take down the information, you can run back to them and you'll end up learning the industry technically as you grow. Like get more leads, do more loans, you'll start figuring out whether or not you can do a departing resident on Fannie versus Freddie, whether or not you can do trailing spouse income when someone's transferring from one city to the next. How do I calculate student loans when they're deferred on FHA versus conventional, right? Like that's when you learn that type of stuff. So most of you won't have Gwen's opportunity, but so you're going to have to do the marketing, the sales thing first, which is why TLOPS originator coaching exists. It's why companies like The Core or Growth Only exist, is because we recognize that. Now, I'll tell y'all who are tuning in, like shameless plug, I'm planning on doing way more business consulting in the future. I can give you, not for free, but you can pay me and my team to come in. I can teach you exactly how to take someone off the street, how to hire, who to hire, what to look for, and how to, within 16 to 24 weeks, get them off the ground, both technically as well as sales and marketing. And for some of y'all that are going out and dropping big money on sign-on bonuses and guarantees, it may be cheaper to develop the top producer that you desire than it is to go and poach one from your competitor. So just something to think about for those divisional leaders and those company owners out there. There is a way, there is a secret code that's been cracked. I know it, Gwen knows it, a few others know it. We could probably share it with you. So let me do this. I know at some point we're going to put like a bow on this. You and I have dinner plans later tonight. Like we're in Chicago because we're doing the TLOP Coaches Retreat. By the way, your idea. Thank you very much. It's going to be like one of the best ideas of the year. This is something we're going to do every single year. So if you come and coach with us as we continue to grow, you get to come with us on our next retreat. It might not be Chicago, but it'll be somewhere fun. Looking back on your career, can you tell me one thing that you did that you 100% would repeat? One thing that you did that you're like, please don't do that. That was a freaking waste of time, effort, or energy.
Yeah. I mean, one thing that I would do that I would repeat is certainly networking on Facebook because it's free.
So it still works?
Yeah, still works.
Okay.
It's the multiplier. If you take a video of yourself at an open house, 300 people see it and only one person walked into that open house. Like that's a better use of your time, right? So if you're going to do one thing, get as much miles out of it as you can, right? And to me, that's people voluntarily tune into social media to consume stuff, whereas all day long they're trying to block out messaging. So yeah, that's my non-negotiable. I will always be posting once a day in that formula that you preach. It's like you have to do the thing that got you here.
Okay.
So that's the thing I will never let go of. And I'm grateful I did it in the beginning because it got me here as well. Looking back, what would you not do or stay away from or not recommend? Yeah, I don't buy leads. Okay. I think that because like 85% of my business is realtor referral. The ones who want, just like you said about the sign-on bonuses, the ones who want where there's a price to their loyalty will be bought away by somebody with deeper pockets. And there's just a weird funk around it. Like we are business partners. And if where somebody's buying into it to get that allegiance, like it could fall apart really quickly. Right. So I've done it. I had the best of intentions thinking we're going to get all the warm stuff too. And all the things, but it hurts so much worse when you lose them, first off, because if you pre-approve somebody and they're in escrow and then they go to another lender and you've paid for that lead, like that's doubly bad, right? You're already in the hole. Yeah. So it just puts like a kind of like a I don't know, for me, it puts kind of a funk around a realtor partnership. So I would rather invest in other ways and like help sponsor their Christmas party or like get in and help them nurture their warm database, their sphere, than buy into that. I don't want to buy their love.
Yeah, no, help them convert their leads that they currently have at a higher percentage, probably worth more money to them, right? You help them increase their lead conversion from 15% to 20%. They sell 2 extra homes in Boise, right? Where the average sales price is well over $400,000. Even if that realtor is only making 2.5%, like you're talking about $20,000 in gross commission earned. Right. What's better, $20,000 in gross commission earned plus 2 additional past close clients that can come back to you to list their home, who can refer their friends, family, coworkers, or neighbors? Or does that realtor want your $1,000 a month for their Zillow or Realtor.com leads?
Right. And my ideal realtor doesn't need to buy leads.
There we
They know how to feed themselves, right? So it's like, okay, I want to hook my wagon to that horse instead of the one who needs a lender to make them successful. I mean, my realtors need a lender to make them successful, but for very different reasons.
Yeah. Well, I thought you were going to go like buy leads. Like, no, I buy leads, whether they're Lending Tree or Bankrate, or I'm buying leads from Zillow because I'm a lender. And it's interesting what you said, because I love our industry. So I love consumer direct. I love credit union. I love the broker world. I love the IMB world. Like I'm in love with the mortgage industry. And my dream is I'm going to work for the mortgage industry. In fact, that's what I think I do through TLOP. Is like, who do you work for? Like, yes, I'm employed by Lower. Like, yes, I love where they're going. I think they have great potential. But the podcast and the coaching company is my way of saying, no, I work for the industry. And when I am talking to the industry, although I love the consumer direct folks, I would say to all of my retail friends, all the men and women trying to be the next Gwen Swain, like, look, you could spend $2,000 or $3,000 a month and buy leads. Or you can spend $2,000 or $3,000 a month on coaching and on systems and processes and generate leads that convert at a higher percentage, learn a skill set that's going to stay with you for a lifetime. Right. And that investment isn't an investment you have to make month in, month out. When you start buying leads, that's month in, month out. You have to keep that gravy train rolling. I thought that's where you were going to go, but I think you were going more towards the realtor partnership.
Yeah.
Like
buying the realtors leads.
Okay. How about, what's the future look like for you?
Yeah. So, like we mentioned, I never hit 100 million. Okay. So I'm going to do it this year through my branch.
Yeah. Cause you told me before the show started, and I use this in the soft intro.
Yeah.
Like, you're a $50 million producer. Yeah. Like, yes, you've done 91 million.
Sure.
And I'm sure you've had 63 sprinkled in, but you're like, look, my first full year did 48. After that, I did over 50. I'm never going to do less than 50. But you're not trying to get to 100 in personal Gwen Swain production.
No.
Okay. So what does that future look like?
Yeah. So I want to start. I have 2 branches right now that I manage. So there's 5 loan officers that hang their license with me that I get to work side by side with, which is so fun because all of a sudden I'm not just the boss with all of these employees on payroll. I'm there with my colleagues. Like,
yes.
Like you said, going out to dinner with your friends, those people will go out to dinner with you because they're like the other LOs. They want that camaraderie, right? Which I absolutely love. It's been so fun. And then helping them hire their loan partners and coaching them on that. But I want to expand throughout the Pacific Northwest. So I'm putting it out there. Law of attraction. Right?
Yes.
You have to speak it into existence. For me, I want to, grow where we have a network of branches that all get to plug into the same coaching and training and skills.
Would you go as far as North Dakota, or is that too far east for you?
No, I would. Yeah. I don't know how much business is happening out there, but
yeah, it's a good market. I have friends in North Dakota.
Yeah. But I mean, if I can get there direct from Boise, then it's on my list.
Well, there's not a whole lot of places that fly direct to Boise.
Pacific Northwest.
But you can get down to Denver.
Seattle, I can do
Denver, Seattle, Portland.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Salt Lake,
Salt Lake, okay. Yeah, so you want to build out your Gwenpire $1 billion division.
Region,
right? You've brought on a business partner to do so, someone who has an extensive background in leadership.
Yes.
Right? But even still, cool story, where did you make your business partner start?
She's my loan partner.
She's your loan partner.
Because that's where you start.
Yes. This is a badass professional in her own right who coached Gwen. Right? She was one of your coaches, your business coach.
Yeah.
Who has now partnered with you. You're like, girlfriend, you're going to start as a loan partner because she has to learn the business.
Yeah, I think she went from like $1,000 an hour to like 30.
That's fantastic.
But you know what? The knowledge she'll get, like that, I was paid 17, inflation, right? The economy's changed a bit.
Yes.
But the $17 an hour that I was paid for those 8 months were more valuable dollar-wise than any degree I could have gotten. Like, I truly believe that. Like, that education, that apprenticeship primed me to have a career of a lifetime.
You know what's crazy about that? So I'm gonna plug this because you and I are recording this in August. So this is gonna drop August of 2025. Over at TLOP, we have this course called Originator Launch, and it's a small 16-week boot camp. So there's 10 mortgage professionals. They're getting with me, or they're getting with you or one of the other coaches for 13 calls, plus they each get 2 one-on-ones. We're giving homework. We're making them read a book. We're holding them accountable, right? And we charge $4,000. Like, it's $4,000. But my one promise to somebody is you will get more out of this class. This will last you a lifetime, even if you don't stay in mortgage, but you stay in sales, you go and open up your own business. We're going to teach you what you need to know to be successful in life. And it's going to cost you less than what you would pay to go to 1 semester of college. Right. Like 1 semester of college. And it's how I can sleep good at night. And this is the thing that you and I and the rest of the TLOP coaches are going to be talking about when we're in Chicago together. Our goal is to graduate 120 every single year. Some of them will end up staying on and being a part of our coaching community. Some of them will end up elevating and wanting that specialized one-on-one elite coaching. But I think it's where we can ask people to spend a little bit of money to get the most bang for their buck. You accepted $17 an hour because you knew you were getting a $100,000 education. Right. So it still works, whether it was 9 years ago or whether it's today. So my last question for you is a question I used to ask all the time. Then I kind of fell off, but I'm gonna start bringing it back, especially because you're a young mom, right? You have 2 young kids, 1st and 3rd grade. What's something that you're to make sure your boys grow up knowing that maybe you didn't grow up knowing, like you learned through the school of hard knocks?
Wow, I was not prepared for that question.
Oh, it came out of left field, didn't
Something that I definitely want them to learn and know.
I mean, it could have been something that maybe your parents instilled in you that you're just so grateful for.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up with a self-employed dad and a stay-at-home mom, so I never saw anybody working for the man. Like, I had no role model of what a job looked like. And I hope that my kids see the same, that there's a freedom to it when you get to cut your own paychecks. You can do that in any industry that you like, right? Yeah. Like if popping popcorn is your passion, you can make good money at that. Like, go open your little shop, right? Do the thing that you love, do it well, and do it for yourself.
Nice. Did you get some of that popcorn in your goodie bag?
I did, but I haven't opened it yet.
It is fantastic.
Yeah, that's why it's on my brain.
Yes, that is a Chicago classic, by the way. Like, that is something that you only get when you're in Chicago. All right. On that note, do you have anything that you want to share parting shots with the audience?
Just come and see me in my classes. I'm passionate about teaching. I always have been. So I'd love to see you guys there.
Yep. So the only way that you can see Gwen, though, is you have to sign up.
Yeah,
right?
You got to sign up.
You have to come become a member
worth it.
Of TLOP's coaching community. Yes, it's worth it. It is the number one value. Like, you make great money doing what you did. I've had a phenomenal career, right? Being able to be an originator, a producing branch manager, a divisional. Yes, we have a coaching company. Yes, this coaching company is going to be one of the top, if not the number one coaching for mortgage professionals, right? But it is the number one value because I saw a massive need where people are being held away from the best ideas because of cost. Like, no, y'all, literally what you make on one loan, just funding one loan, will pay for your entire year. You can learn from me. You can learn from Gwen. You can learn from Coach BK, Coach Ross, Coach Rebecca. We have Dr. Stacy who's leading the charge. Like, you're missing out on the best mentorship that's available, especially for the investment that we ask you to make. So yes, Gwen's saying come join her on a call, but you first have to go to tloponline.com and become a member. Look, she's Gwen Swain. I'm Dustin Owen. If they want to follow you, Gwen, Facebook
me. Heck
Gwen
yeah.
Swain.
I think I have like 1,200 more friends I can add, and then I'm capped out.
That's a lot.
So get them while they're hot.
Yep. Are you IG and Facebook or strictly Facebook?
I have an IG, but I live on Facebook.
Do you ever get on LinkedIn?
No.
Only when I tag you and you're like, damn it, he did it again.
I think I can just be in one place at one time. So.
Okay. Well, if you want to connect with Gwen, do so on Facebook. First name Gwen, last name Swain. She's with Waterstone Mortgage. She's out of Boise, Idaho. Her Gwenpire is going to cover the entire Pacific Northwest. So if you're interested in being a part of the Gwenpire, or you just want to connect with Gwen, make sure you do so on Facebook or you look her up online. She's Gwen Swain. I'm Dustin Owen. You've just tuned in to the Loan Officer Podcast. That's all the time we have for you today. But we do look forward to catching you on the next episode. Peace.